This is Unit 3, Target 4, which says I can solve practical problems involving surface area of prisms and cylinders. You have two types of problems you can see here. The first of which will be dealing with a rectangular, and the next will be dealing with the cylinder. We'll deal with the cylinder in a few minutes. This first problem says you are painting the walls and ceiling of a rectangular room which measures 10 feet by 12 feet and is 8 feet tall. First thing you need to do is to draw a picture that represents your room. In this case, I'm going to take the 10 feet and make it the width of the room. I'm going to take the 12 feet, and now I'm going to have my wall, which will be 8 feet tall. So I'm going to put my numbers in here. We have 10, 12, and 8. And we'll go ahead and fill in the rest of my room here. Now, the key here in this type of problem is we are dealing with the walls and the ceiling. So instead of just looking at this rectangular prism and say we find all 6 sides, we need to make sure we are finding the area of the 4 walls, in this case this wall, the back, and this left side, and then the ceiling. And we skip the floor in this case. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to draw a rectangle to represent my front wall. And I'll draw another one that will represent the back. Next, I see that this is a rectangle, so I need to find the area. I look here, and this measurement here is going to be 10. This measurement here, same as this here, is going to be 8. So my area will be a 10 times 8, which is 80 feet squared. And for the back, I will also have a 10 by 8, which will be 80 feet squared. So now that I've taken care of the front and the back, I'm going to deal with my other side walls. This wall here, I'll draw a rectangle. Now I need to look for my dimensions. This dimension here will be 12, and this here will be 8. So this side, and here's my other side wall. We have a 12 by 8, which will give me 96 feet squared, and the other side will be 12 by 8, 96 feet squared. And now we need to deal with the ceiling. The ceiling will also be a rectangle, but when I deal with the dimensions of this rectangle, I'm looking for this dimension here, which is my 10, and this dimension here, which is my 12. So the ceiling will be a 10 by 12, which will give me my 120 feet squared. Now, one more time before we total things up, we need to make sure we've accounted for our 4 sides. We have this wall here, and on the back side, we have this side wall here, and the other, and we have our ceiling. We didn't account for our floor. We have our 5 numbers, these are the 4 walls, and our ceiling that we add together. And when we add these together, we will come up with a total of 472 feet squared. It is still an area. Okay, the second type of problem we could see for target 4 would involve a cylinder. And it might say something like, find the lateral surface area of the cylinder. And when we're talking about the lateral surface area, the lateral is the sides. So when we look at the cylinder, we're going to try to find this side. But remember, when we look at the net, the side is going to make this rectangle. Now, when we go back to the formula, we had this formula that will do the whole surface area of a cylinder. The pi r squared was one circle, so 2 pi r squared represented the top and bottom. So in this problem, finding lateral surface area, we can get rid of the circles. We just want to find the sides, and the side is going to be 2 pi rh. Now we're going to look and plug in our numbers. Once again, make sure you write the formula. We have a 2 times pi, which we use as 3.14, times our radius. We look over here, our radius is 5. Be careful to make sure you have a radius. If you had a diameter, cut it in half first. times the height, and our height in the cylinder is 7. We can use our calculator, and we would calculate this to be 219.8. Think about our label. This is an area, so this will also be meters squared.